Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to our series, Heal Your Money Fears. This is your host, Vivian de Guzman, and today we're actually going to have our Oracle Master Teacher, Oracle Master Reader Teacher, teach us some things about Oracle cards. And without further ado, I would love to introduce to you Miss Therese Nadeau. Hey, Therese, thank you for
Hi.
gracing our free masterclass today.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to teach in front of your people. And I appreciate everyone who's going to join today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess I should introduce myself a little more. So my name is Therese Nadeau. I am an Oracle Master Teacher. I am a Reiki Master Teacher, and I've trained in many different modalities, but I'm an energy healer as well. And that's basically how I got into energy healing was through Oracle cards. And so today I thought it would be fun to really connect and chat about what Oracle cards are and a little bit of wisdom in sharing that. Because a lot of people believe they're the same as tarot cards, and then there's just different belief systems around them. But I thought it'd be good to just start today speaking about the actual cards. And so I think people are hopping in. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for coming. I'm grateful to be here. And yeah, so without further ado, I will get started. So if you guys have Oracle cards in your home or tarot cards, you're welcome to bring them out. You were given a free spread, which we will look at the end of my presentation. And then I will answer some questions. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen here. Okay, so my presentation is all about Oracle cards for guidance, and there's many modalities and ways in divination tools to use to trusting your intuition. Divination is about being with the divine, about being with God and spirit or the great creator, whatever that is for you. That is what I use cards for. So what are Oracle cards? And I love them. To me, they're just a fun and can be very accurate tool to answer your questions, to connect with your intuition. They're free form. There's great imagery in a lot of the decks. They're very creative. You can get creative with them. And they're easier to learn than the tarot deck. And I'm going to go a bit into that after this slide. So they are different from tarot decks, and they vary from cats to unicorns. And I'll share a few different decks that I have once I'm done, so you can just see the difference. And when I say cats, I literally mean there is Oracle decks with just cats. For cat lovers. There's Oracle decks for just unicorns. There's Oracle decks for almost everything, even vampires. I've seen some darker decks out there too, like weird. It's just all about the creation of these decks comes from those people's inspiration. So, and then the deck sizes can differ as well. So the decks that are in the imagery, they're more of a simple, slim fit. And then there's decks that are fat, there's decks that are round, and they're just a lot of fun. And I like not to take it too seriously, if you know what I mean. So let's go into the history of Oracle cards, because tarot was first introduced from playing cards. And so with the 4 suits is how it began. And then originally people started using the meaning with them as a divination tool over time. And so I just love this picture from the museum because it is showing, what one of the original pictures of oracle card or tarot card reading would have looked like back in the 1800s, right? And so for thousands of years, people have been using decks of cards as interpretation to help them. And of course, they were originated in Italy around the 1400s. And then they weren't truly become more popularized. And when I say popularized, I mean it kind of spread throughout in the 1700s. And most of you have seen or know the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, as it's the most widely known deck in the world. And they still print them very similar to the original ones back in the day. And yeah, and that was published in 1909, so early 1900s. So we've been going for a while with these cards. And so it's interesting to see how we've evolved over time into where we are. So France was one of the first countries in the world to embrace the oracle deck. And they may not have called it that back in France, but we do know that an oracle is the Latin term for speak. And it was the priests and priestesses back in the day that would speak from God. And in every country, many countries of the world, they had oracles. And so oracle cards had arrived around the 1800s. And the Lenormand deck was published first in France in the 19th century. So there was a woman named Marie Anne Lenormand, and she was a very famous fortune teller at the time. She was a celebrity, essentially, one of the first. So that's where the kind of crystal ball vision had come from. And so the French people had really embraced her. And after she passed, there was a fellow who published a deck, and he had named it after her. So the Lenormand is still widely published. And this is a picture of what it would have looked like back in the day. So it's kind of neat. If you look at the imagery, you can see there's still we're still using the playing card symbols, you know, and there's the imagery of everyday regular life that you would have had back then, and trees and nature. It's really fascinating. Yeah, how this has come. Okay, so why use oracle cards? Well, let's go back to being that tarot cards are wonderful to use too. And tarot cards are, I'll just explain the difference because it's really a good way to notice. So with the tarot cards, there's usually 78 cards in a deck. And there's 22 major and 56 minor cards. And the major is like the archetypes of major roles in life, whereas the minor is like the day-to-day life. Whereas oracle cards give us that day-to-day life, or they give us that interpretation of whatever it is we want to look further into. So it doesn't have those major minor arcanas. So it's more freeform, right? And so whenever you utilize a deck of cards for your intuition to provide yourself self-inquiry and connection, there's going to be a physical representation and mirror to what it is that's going on within you and what it is that you are looking deeper into. And so they can be very accurate. They help you to trust your intuition. And that's that physical proof, right? So say you're not sure about a job and you don't know whether or not you want to stay in the role that you are in, and you're torn. You're really torn, which we normally have the answers within us. So the cards are a great representation to show, to bring us out of our head and into our body, into what's feeling. So if you're stuck in this position, you're not sure which direction, you might pull a card and it might show imagery of leaving a place. It might show the end of something, whether it's in the imagery or in the words. It might say no, so stay in the job. So your interpretation is your intuition as well playing into this. And it's always that proof backing you up. So cards have taught me personally to have patience and to tune into myself more. We live in a very fast-paced society. We are overwrought with what's going on in the world at the moment. We're overwhelmed, we're overworked. We have a hard time really stopping and tapping into ourselves because we're trained in society to always ask outside ourselves to, to really shut that down because we don't trust it. And cards are a great way to really tap in to yourself and trust yourself. It's practice. It's like a muscle. Intuition is a muscle that has to be used. It has to be practiced, and it can be fun. So you can ask a question or tune into some kind of vision that you get in your mind and pull a card, and it may match a vision you had in your mind. It may match the idea you were thinking over. And so card readings tend to be really us being told that we're on the right track. It's always an affirmation. And the patient comes when you just learn from your experience, get the physical vision, and see what happens. And not consistently reach out yourself, constantly asking different people. Not that that's a bad thing, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like more about really allowing yourself that time and space to find the right answers for you, and that time and space to trust that you can get through it, that you can make that decision, that you can do everything you desire, because cards can be used for manifestation. So with every time you sit down to use your cards for fun, for magic, it's like spell. It's like spells are happening because intentions are spells. Words are spells. Words are called spelling for a reason. Thousands of years ago, only the priests and the wealthy could read, and they knew how powerful those words were when they wrote them on paper. They were spells. They had meaning. So when the population started getting into reading, it was interesting because it would have shifted that, right? And now we can read and we can write and we can use those words which have power and meaning by setting intentions. You can write it in your journal. You can say it out loud as you're doing your reading. Because whatever we put out to the universe, our thoughts become things. Our words become truth. So the more powerful we are aligned to our inner truth, the more powerful the words are that come out of us. The more powerful we become because we believe in ourselves. We believe in our power. We trust that we have all that we need to achieve all that we desire. And so manifesting becomes more ease because you actually have taken the time to sit down every week or every day or every month, whatever that is to you, and you've set the intention to have an answer. You've set the intention to create something in your life. And you are driving the bus of your life. You're driving the bus in your world. So taking the reins, this way of taking the reins makes it fun, makes it flowy, makes it exciting, and you can do it with friends, you can do it with family, and like I said, not take it too seriously, but at least align, right, with your truth. Even if maybe outside of you, they disagree with what your truth is, that is okay. Yep. And your cards will back you up, right, Vivian? They will back you up.
That's right.
I know, like, for me personally, I started card reading. It's been many years now, but I didn't know that they would have as much impact on my life as they've had. Mm-hmm. Because I was 18 when I got given my first deck of cards, and my cousin was a psychic. Her name's actually Teresa, and I'm Therese, and she's older. And I said to my mom, how original, right? We're both named after our grandmother. Anyway, Teresa said, you have this gift. and she gave me the Rider-Waite tarot deck. And I had just finished high school. I had my first place with my friends, and I was going tree planting, and I had cut my hair into the pixie style, which was the early 90s, right? Mid 90s.
Mhm.
And I just was finding myself. Well, it was so confusing learning the tarot deck at the time because I didn't know anything about woo-woo or spirituality. I wasn't raised in a religious home, so I didn't even have that. But they were so accurate, it terrified all of us in the house. So me and my roommates were just like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. How can this be, right?
Yep.
So anyway, I ended up throwing them out because we were terrified. It was so accurate. And I was, like I said, I was about 19. Yeah, I'd have been about 19. And I thought I'd burn in hell. I thought maybe I'd send some witchcraft evil around the house, because we've had this fear instilled in us through media, what tarot card reading and oral card reading and psychic, the word psychic, oh my gosh, the emotions that come up for people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was just my first chance to test it out.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until 20 something years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think it was just the fact that I'd started meditating and going to these deekshas at the time, which came out of India. Many of you might know about them. And I knew that my spiritual gifts were opening, but I knew nothing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started getting words into my mind about people when I put my hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
I started seeing things that was happening in their life, and I couldn't say a damn word to anybody.
Yep. Scary.
It was scary and it was exciting. And it wasn't until I took training and it came up online, and it was Denise Lynn's Oracle soul coaching, oracle card reading, professional oracle card reading. It's a long one, certification course to become a master teacher. And that's what I took. So it took me, honestly, guys, 2 years and over 88 card readings to get that certification. And there was a lot involved in it, let me tell you. And I'm so excited about it. So
nice.
Yeah. So now here I am getting to share a tool that really helped me overcome my anxiety, overcome my denial of my gifts, my anxiety, and really help me tune into how powerful I am. So oracle card, what's that, Vivian?
Oh, no. Continue, because I was just typing on the chat, but then if they have a specific question to ask, you can start typing it.
Okay, perfect. So I'll continue. So using oracle cards, it's very easy and very practical. And many people believe that in a lot of wrong and right, because they're used to be that way. Back in the day, you used to have to train with an oracle or a priestess or a shaman to become a shaman, priestess, healer. You had to be gifted down those titles and gifted down those tools. But the way we have moved through the energy on the planet is now we can all be our own oracle. Yes, training is helpful. Don't get me wrong. It helps to have a master. It helps to have a teacher to hone in your skills and learn how to be professional, learn to quiet the ego. And so oracle cards are such a fun and practical way. You get to choose any deck that feels right to you, right? You can go into the store, you can order them online. Your friend might have a deck and they say, this is for you. This is what I do all the time. I give out decks all the time. And so choosing a deck for you is just aligning. Do you like the imagery? Does it feel nice in your hands? Does the topic and the weight, I mean, it goes into buying a car, right? You're going to be using this car. You're going to be getting comfortable with it. And the only time you should be worried when you're using oracle cards, because it is not devil's work, is when you're tuned into the devil or the negativity, right? That's not good.
Yep.
Or when you become codependent. And I've seen this happen. I've had many people tell me I became so dependent on the cards that I literally stopped listening to myself. Once again, they're not going within, they're just looking at the card and they're living by it, and they're not, having rational thought. They're not having time quiet within themselves to contemplate. So it's just really important to notice if we're codependent in relationships, we can also become codependent in spirituality. We can become codependent with a divination tool. We can become codependent with our healers, our teachers, and our mentors. So that's something that we're moving away from now into this sovereign time, and the cards help us do that.
Perfect.
So getting to know your deck is key to being really accurate with your deck. And over time, you'll just pick out a picture, pick out a card, and you'll just know exactly what that card means for you. You'll know exactly what it pertains to.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start reading for friends or family, then it's the same thing, right? You're like, oh, this card. So there's one card I have in my deck. I have an Oracle Tarot deck, believe it or not. And so it has the major, minor arcanas, and then it's got its own. And that is my John Holland book deck. It's called the, I forget, the Psychic Tarot.
Got it.
And so I've had that one for many years. And so it's interesting because if I pull one of these cards, I know that it's because of a relationship is going to be ending, or a truth is going to be happening in that relationship, which was deceiving. So sometimes when I pull it, I go, ooh, but at least I know it's like a forewarning. So decks can give you that foresight and get you out of the illusions you can be in. Because many of us live in illusion, right? In a new relationship or friendships, sometimes we have to pull down that illusion to really see the truth.
Lisa was asking, what is the deck called again? And is it from John Holland?
Yes, it's called the Psychic Tarot. Here's the
Psychic Tarot.
Here's the picture. I'll show you.
That looks like it's been used a
Yes.
lot.
Hundreds of readings with this one, hundreds.
Oh my God.
Because it's my get down and to the business deck. There's going to be all kinds. There's going to be really fluffy and flighty, but then it's good to have the real decks that tell you, listen, lady, listen, guy, right?
Oh my God.
So the energy around your deck is really important. I will not buy a vampire deck with blood and dark imagery, because to me, that's not the energy I feel aligned to. Whereas there's people out there that are like, I actually enjoy working with the darkness in myself. Doesn't mean they're dark people. It just means they work, because we all have dark and light. So I don't judge. Some people work with the dark, and we need those people as much as who work with the light. So for me, I usually go for the more lighter energy decks that align with me. And imagery is very important. I like really nice pictures. I like quality layout. And over time, you become an expert at choosing. And then you grow out of decks. And then that's when you can give them away. You can give them away. You just have to get them smudged, or you can tap your deck 3 times and it'll clear the deck. So that's the fun in using cards.
Sweet.
All right. So now, let me stop the share here. All right. So I'm gonna, if you have any questions.
Are you ready for some questions?
Yes, go
Therese?
ahead.
All right. So I'm gonna bring this up, and if you have a burning question, you could raise your hand or click the hand raise button there. Okay. So Angelica, I'll bring her up here. She wants to know, what does it say? What's the difference between the masculine and feminine deck? How do you know which one to read, and how do you read them?
Okay. So Angelica, hello, darling. I
Hi.
wanted to, I was going to bring up a picture of the spread that I sent you guys. And then I'm going to go over that with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
And then that way we have, then you can understand what it all means. So I'm just going to pull that up here and share with you guys. So I'm going to share my screen.
I do
Again.
have a question because I don't have any tarot decks, but I do
Okay.
have the Angel Oracle cards. Is that something I can use with the layout, or do I specifically
Yes.
need? Okay.
Absolutely. So that's why I was going to share with you is the layout I sent is just a fun way of tuning into your inner masculine. Doesn't matter what deck you use.
Okay.
There's no right or wrong. It's just a fun way to balance yourself out, because I know many of us are feeling very unbalanced at this time in our lives. And lots of us are more attuned now that we have these inner masculine, feminine sides of us that aren't related at all to our sex, right? They're just related to the energy of feminine and masculine. And so when you go into the masculine, it's more of like, it's that like expansive, giving, outward protective energy, right? Whereas the feminine's more receiving, inner, creative energy. And so the masculine and the feminine to be really balanced, then you can have good boundaries. Then you can create the things you desire more from a place of health. Because if we're too far in our feminine, then the ground is too soft and we sink deep, because the masculine is the foundation and he holds it solid, right? If we're too much in our masculine, then we're not honoring creative energy and the rest. So that's the spread. So I'm just going to share it here to show everyone what I'm talking about, that you were gifted when you signed up. So you can see this here. Okay, great. So basically, this is something fun that you could even do now if you wanted, is you're going to shuffle your cards.
Okay.
And you're going to tune in. I'm going to go in a little bit. And you're going to tune in to the wisdom and the knowledge that you want to receive from this deck. So maybe it has to do with something specific. Maybe it's not something specific, but it could just be anything at all. So when I say divine God and goddess, I believe we are the divine God and goddess. You are your own oracle. So this is a really great journaling experience. And then you can tap into that through this, this divine spread. And so I will show you guys some of my, my decks here, which I mean, the John Holland deck, the ones that are very, very used. This to me is a very masculine deck. For me, it feels very masculine. It's made by a man. So if I wanted to just do a very masculine spread, I might just use a masculine deck. If I wanted to do the feminine masculine spread, I could actually take my feminine deck, which is my Work Your Light deck, which a lot of you are familiar with, by Rebecca Campbell, because to me, there's the feminine and masculine, right? I can actually put these together and mix them up and spread them all around and then do my card spread with that. So that's why I was saying it's so fun and flowy, right? There's no right or wrong. What's another one? I've got a moon deck, Moonology, and this one goes into all the moon cycles. So you learn with this deck as well about the moon. I have my Earth Magic. This one is for when people really need the grounding or education in tapping into the earth energy. So there's just so many kinds, right? Like it can be so fun. Yeah. Is there any other questions, Vivian?
Hold on. The next one is, let's see. So this is Chris. What will the oracle say about me attracting abundance to be able to accomplish my goals or mission? I think this is Christine Formant. So I'm gonna bring her up. There you go.
Hi, Christine.
Hello.
Hi. How are
Hello.
you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. Well, I don't have cards now. I don't have a deck. I have only one that says to wake up your feminine side, and that's it. So it's only actions to be done to develop your feminine. That's all I have for the moment.
Well, that's
so
okay. That's fun. That's fun.
So what
was
should
your
I use
question?
to, my question was, what will the oracle say for me to attract abundance? Because I have big goals and I need abundance to be able to achieve all that goals.
Okay, so you want me to pull a card for you?
Oh, why not? Because unless I do my feminine thing.
Well, you know what you could do as well, this is really fun, is you could go out and get yourself a deck of cards after this call and do the divine masculine feminine spread, because the masculine holds the energy of the money.
Yes.
He holds that space. So there's a place in you that's not allowing the feminine to, or the masculine to receive, right? So it's really tapping into that confidence within you, right? But I'd be happy to pull you a card. Let me just see what wants to come
Therese, are you
forward.
saying that Christine needs to be able to receive the masculine in her life? Please explain a little further. What does that mean?
So because the masculine holds the confidence, he holds the space of discipline, courage, boundaries. And then the feminine, she's like the tenderness and the creative energy. She holds that like the energy of like of giving. The masculine holds the energy of receiving. Does that make sense? So so you're not receiving the abundance within you.
Right.
Right?
I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, no worries. I sometimes do that. My brain just goes. Okay, so for you, my love, you're getting an angel card. The angels want to speak to you today. Okay, so this is by Doreen Virtue, and she's gone to the other side now. For many of you who don't know, she has dumped all her past trainings and everything. She has denounced it all as double work. So sadly, but that's okay. That's her journey, right? It's just where she's at. And so I still use her cards though, because I still appreciate them. And so let's see here. And guess what card I pulled?
The king. No.
Prosperity.
Wow.
Awesome.
Unbelievable.
Yay.
So she's holding the cornucopia of abundance because it's a feminine picture.
Yes.
So your feminine is giving, 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 but your masculine isn't able to receive because she's not trusting him.
Right.
She doesn't trust the man in her. So it goes back to daddy. It goes back to the men in your life and healing that little girl within you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Totally.
So the affirmation is this: your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. So hold that to your heart. Everyone here, we all want more abundance. We all want more prosperity, so we have more freedom to choose. So your material needs are provided as you follow your intuition and manifest your dreams into reality. All right, Christine?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, I think there's a follow-up question with another. Christine, go ahead and mute yourself. I'm gonna bring up Monica. She had a question on the Q&A. I'm just gonna read it. What balance shifts do I need to make to attract my partner? There you go. And she can speak up if she wants to.
Hi,
Hello, can you hear
Monica.
me okay? Hi, Teresa. Hi, Vivian.
Hi.
Awesome.
So
Yeah, so I definitely respect what you just shared with Christine about receiving on the abundance side. So I received that as well. Um, and so I am just, wondering what you are picking up on for me today about
Okay.
within the area of love and romance. And if there's any,
We
and then
love
Right.
romance and love.
I tell you, Monica, I am in the same boat. I am in the same boat, and I'll tell you, I took training on how to date because I needed that, and so lots of the stuff I share now, it helps in my business as well, because it is about masculine feminine balance, right? And so what happens is, as us empowered women who are we love ourselves, we care about ourselves, and we don't want to settle, right? But
right.
what happens is, because we're strong, we're independent, we tend to attract these unavailable men because we tend to be the ones, this is my experience, and you can just tell me if I'm not mirroring you. We tend to attract men who can't step up because we're too forward. And I'll explain this. It's the same thing in business. We are the lighthouse, and there's the men, eligible men out in the boat. And this is what my other teacher had taught me. And what happens is they have to row to shore. They have to row to be with us in our energy, to be with us. Our clients, same thing. Now, if I get down, I'm like, oh, there's a cutie patootie, right? I'm really interested in that guy in that boat who's got some muscles. I tended in the past, I don't do this anymore, and that's probably why I'm still single, because I'm waiting for the right empowered masculine man. I would go out and row to him, or I would give him my paddle. And how I can change that is, we're texting, and he says, let's go out. And I say, where, when, da, 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 da. Truth is I have to lean into the masculine. So we have to lean in and let him make all the plans and make all the effort, because he's a grown ass man. And
But hold on. But yeah, because some people, so I haven't quite mirrored that in at least one relationship where it was the opposite. I attracted and I ran.
Well, then your intuition was on it, because what happens a lot of times is, if he's coming on strong at the beginning, Monica, and he's like, oh, you're the best thing ever, that's a red flag for narcissist.
Very true.
So an empowered masculine man will make the plan. He will want to see you. He will follow up. If he drops something on the ground, you don't pick it up on that date, he picks it up.
Yeah.
So it comes down to recognizing the healthy dynamic between you and him, because you might be more masculine forward. I don't know. So it's about recognizing him being that empowered man, holding that space for you and allowing yourself to lean into it. And what my coach had said, she said, you have to be ready to walk away in that 3 and 6 month period. And many of us women don't. We stop dating other men at 3 months. I mean, of course, once you become really intimate, that's different, but you have to be non-attached, right? Even if you are intimate in that 3 month period. And she said by 6 months, they'll say, I love you. And there's so many other amazing things and in that training, but I know what it's like dating nowadays, because I'm in my 40s and I have been. So I really relate to finding that empowered masculine man, and it feels challenging sometimes. Right? So I'm going to pull for you from my No Bones About It, my psychic tarot deck. And let's see what the message is for you.
Gotcha. Was that the masculine one?
Yes.
No bones about it.
So temptation. Okay. So when this, temptation. Wow. So the temptation card is about sexuality, right? It's a very red card too, root chakra. So holding back the temptation to maybe get intimate real soon, or holding back the temptation of settling with dating some people that maybe aren't healthy for you. right? So tell me, what temptations come up for you when you think about this card? If you want to share, of course.
The only thing that I can think of is making sure that I'm not available to slip down a slippery slope of being comfortable with those that are not right for me long term.
Yeah. I get
Or
it.
and likewise not being so anxious or thinking, oh yay, hey, what about this, this, and then start making, I'll just say, unfounded plans.
Yes.
Daydreaming.
So that's it. It's like it's not getting tempted by the illusion which women live in. Men don't. They don't live in they're just like, because their thinking is different, right? It's actually in the DNA. They're the hunter. So they look at the deer. Okay, I need 1,500 calories to survive and feed my family. Am I going to go after the rabbit or the deer? Right? So that's their thought process is always the risk reward. So that's why their emotions aren't easy to access. Our emotions are on the surface to keep the babies alive and the village going. And they are non-emotional because they have to keep the family alive through food and hunting.
Right.
And so when you're with a man who is showing too much, I love you, you're amazing, that's red flag. And when you're with a man who's maybe all the time, who never steps forward, never steps into that role, we get sucked in and they're called a maybe man. And then 3 years in, you're not married, you're not living together, there's nothing happening. And so that's the illusion that we have, right? Vivian's laughing.
Just laughing. This is fascinating to me.
I know, right?
I love it.
So the temptation in you, my dear Monica, you're such a beautiful, wonderful woman. And there is a man, I see him ready to be your man, but you have to be patient and you have to let yourself write out exactly what he has and all the feelings that you want in that relationship. And as soon as you compromise any of the 10 feelings you write when you're with or without him. So even if you're feeling insecure when you're not with him, that's a red flag. And so I was married for 18 years and now I've been single for 3. So I've done both. So it's like interesting now dating because I'm a partner person. I'm a relationship person and I'm not settling. So that's why I'm still single. And he's out there. We have to believe that. You have to believe that. And he will come. Energy, frequency. Right?
I love it. Thank you for the recommendation.
Thank you, you guys. Isn't this fun? By the way, we're going to have more of this in a manifestation booster next week. So I hope you guys join us all with me, Vienna, Therese, and our special guest. We have another shaman who's going to open up our event, our healing event. Okay, I'm going to go to the next question. Are you good? I'm going to bring up Ashley. Ashley, hi, Ashley.
Hello, ladies. This
How
is a
are
success.
you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
learning
actually-
a lot.
I'm going to interrupt you guys and say it's Therese, just for
Oh, I'm
future
sorry.
reference. Oh, no, it's okay. It's
My
okay.
apologies.
It's okay. No,
Therese.
really. Yes.
Thank you, ladies. So I'm new to this. I find it very fascinating. How would you guide me into how would I pick my first deck? There's so many choices.
Exactly. And so the fun part about that is it's exciting. You get to take your girlfriends and you get to, or yourself. I sometimes go with my girlfriends because I really enjoy it. And what you do is you go to your favorite store that sells oracle cards and tarot cards. They usually sell crystals and singing bowls and all the other woo-woo stuff that's really fun. And so when you go to choose it, you're going to want, usually they have like the decks out so you can open and look at the pictures. You can feel the weight of the deck on your hands. You can look at the imagery. It really has to feel good in your hands. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Bring you pleasure. And so whenever choosing something, whether to eating something or choosing a place to go out, tune into your physical senses in your womb area, in your sacral center. And you can even ask your body. Believe it or not, our body has all the answers. So you can say, body, is this deck for me? And your body will respond with butterflies or tension or excitement or a whoosh feeling. So it's a good practice. A good practice for you is to start just talking to your body and connecting with your body. And then you could even buy a couple of decks of cards, right? Can't hurt. Maybe you like two and you can't choose. Maybe you want to try a tarot and an oracle. See, for me personally, I'm more drawn to the oracle cards.
Sounds wonderful. I will certainly do that. So more of tuning into the innate wisdom.
Yes.
And just kind of getting a feel and if it resonates.
Absolutely.
Would it be okay if you pulled a card for me?
Absolutely. Do you have a specific question?
Yeah. I am thinking about creating an online program. I've been thinking about it for a while. So can you give me some guidance?
What do you do, Ashley?
I'm a mental health counselor.
Okay.
And so I work with clients one-on-one, and there's a lot of messages I want to share that I can't, reaching more people. I guess I need a little bit more clarity on and I'm working on this.
And you still have a full-time job, or have you moved into the coaching?
No, I
already?
still have a full-time job, but I would like to do less of that and do more classes.
Got it. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Work a
think-
little less and help a lot more people is my heart's intention.
Yes.
Yes. That's what I'm picking up, is you really need to choose like an ideal client,
Yes.
a little bit more hone in.
Yes.
So what if you can fast forward and you've already chosen the client? Can you start from that space and then ask Therese the specific question? Because it really might, I don't know. Therese, what are you picking up?
Well, Ashley, as soon as you asked, I already knew that you're going to be doing online work with people in groups.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yay.
And you're gonna have the name Divine in it.
Wow. Beautiful. That's
And-
her last name.
Yeah, well, I saw her last name and it just it was a hit. It's gonna be Divine something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because
That's very encouraging.
you hold a lot of space for people,
Yes.
and it's probably in your human design as well,
Mhm.
that you're meant to hold space for groups of people. And you have no problem speaking in front of people, is that correct?
That is a gift that I'm continuing to unfold. So
There you
yes.
go.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Because once you know a topic and once you're passionate about it, you're really good at standing in front of people and talking about it because you're passionate about it and you feel it.
Okay.
And so the card I pulled for you was Aphrodite,
Aphrodite.
inner goddess. So I'm going to show you this because I'll tell you what this card means even more. for you.
Wow. Okay.
And so basically the affirmation here is awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. So the only reason why you're not working on your own yet is, as you said, most of us, we get stuck in the clarity of who we're going to be helping, specific, like what Vivian's saying. You have to be very specific. The
Mhm.
first part of any business and income is being very specific about who you are,
Mhm.
who you're serving, and what it is you're an expert in.
Mm.
So because Aphrodite comes up and she's this goddess of divinity, it's like, where are the goddesses you want to help? Where are they?
Is that okay?
Yeah, so this is from the Goddess Guidance deck by
Okay.
Doreen Virtue, for those of you who were asking.
Doreen Virtue. Yeah.
So another Doreen Virtue deck. And so it's like when I pull this card, it's also about your sexuality.
Mm.
It means that you got to really tap in, and maybe some of you will be offended by this, but I'm going to say it. We are more powerful when we're tuned into our pussy power.
Okay, like that.
And I read a wonderful book on this, and it's about reclaiming your pussy. And that's what it's called. And it's by Mama Gina.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, and she says, you got to be in tune with the GPS, which is the great pussy in the sky.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny.
So, I mean, I don't have shame around it, but
Okay.
there's some healing that has to happen within you. There's some healing in your sexuality, so you can really embrace pleasure. You can really embrace life, so that when you are ready to birth this, because it's a seed, right? You got to water it. You got to give it some nutrients. And that means you're giving yourself the nutrients. You're giving yourself the water. You're giving yourself the space to create what it is you desire. And specifically, be clear of who it is you want to help, who lights you up, what makes you excited. Okay. And I'll end it there because I can go on and on, but I want to get to everybody, but
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So tapping into my inner divine wisdom, is that with Aphrodite?
Yes. Inner divine wisdom, inner goddess. The queen receives pleasure, remember.
Okay, I can work on that too.
All right.
Thank you, Therese. Thank you, Vivian.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you, Ashley, for being here. I think we got a couple of questions. Hold on, let me just see. What was the other one? Oh yeah. Lisa Mitchelson is, let me unmute her. All right. Hi, Lisa. Welcome. Now, some of you are new to us, like Ashley. I know I've seen her somewhere on Facebook somewhere. Lisa, I was just wondering, where did you guys find out about our class today? Did you get it?
On Facebook. Yeah, I'm Facebook friends with Therese.
Oh,
Hi.
perfect, Lisa.
So I missed
Lisa.
a few days. Yes, I missed a few days.
No worries. The recordings are in the Facebook group Heal Your Money Fears. We're gonna take that down by the end of this next week. So you guys have a week to review the other things that we've done. So thank you.
Oh, sure. Awesome. Did I need a specific question?
Yes.
What's happening, Lisa? What's going on?
Okay, so let me tell you. So I was just in the really scary, bad, traumatic car accident on Friday.
Oh, I'm
And so
sorry.
I don't know. It got real, like, I never was fearful of car accidents. I mean, it was like totaled rollover, like bad. And so I don't know, because now I'm just kind of like, I was going with the flow, just enjoying life. I don't know. And I feel like this is it's a big hard, like my daughter was driving, she's 15 and now she never wants to drive. Like, so I don't know. I think I'm just looking for some healing. I don't know. Like, and I feel I have overcome, and I've healed so much, like in my childhood and everything. And then I feel like this was just thrown. I was like, oh man, now I have to heal from like this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. I don't know. I guess that was just kind of my question, like hoping my future is brighter than what I just
Well, I'm really glad you're okay, Lisa. I'm really glad that you're here.
Thank you so much.
Express yourself, because that is a life-changing experience that you went through. It's like a trajectory change, right? So
yes,
accidents,
that's how I feel. Like I'm shook up. Yeah, and I just I'm going very slow. Like, I'm not going my regular.
You feel very fast. You feel very ungrounded in your energy. And so I'm going to pull from the Earth Magic.
Yes.
And that is the Stephen Farmer deck. He's a famous shaman. And there's so much lessons in this deck about, and this was,
thank you. What is his last name again? Sorry,
Stephen D. Farmer.
D. Farmer. Okay.
Yeah. And
thank
so he's written all the books on spirit messages from animals.
Okay.
Okay, darling. So when I go into your body, I get that this accident was a full stop. And it's time for you to get really grounded, tapping into really what you want to do in your life, what it is you desire, instead of letting other people drive your bus. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. I do feel that. Like
Mhm.
I did, yeah.
Yes.
So basically, Lisa, your card today is clouds, shape-shifting.
It's still above.
Yes.
So these clouds, right, which are amazing and beautiful, and they shapeshift. So you're shapeshifting. So this is a time of big change for you. It's time to readdress anything you've been putting off for the last year.
Mm.
Have you cleaned beyond the couch? Have you got the dust bunnies from behind the bed lately?
Yes, yes. I did just yesterday. I've been cleaning. Yes.
Ah, Lisa.
Yes.
Because
Thank
that's
you.
what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this clutter clearing. I'm seeing this this shifting energy of like really allowing yourself to start creating intentionally, which is what we're all doing here today. It's about creating and manifesting with intention. And so what spells are you putting out through your thoughts? What spells are you speaking?
All right. Are you asking me? Sorry.
No,
Are you
It's
asking
just
me?
introspection. It's
introspection. Yeah, you can go.
Okay.
You can journal about it. You can write it down. And it's really important to know that you're allowed to relax. You're allowed to do nothing.
Yes.
You have
Thank
to
you.
give
I know
yourself
because
permission.
yes. Yes. Thank you. That's what I've been doing. And then I feel guilty,
I
because
know.
I feel the accident just shook us up. But then I'm glad it was a long weekend. But yes, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Thank you,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Rest
Thank
up,
you.
honey.
Thank you.
All right.
Mhm.
So let me answer this one more, and then I think there's another squeeze-in question for baby Comia. How can you pull a card for me about love and career?
Love and
Oh, cute.
career.
Those are two cards. Which do you like? Oh, this is
Well,
funny.
I tell you what, does she want to come on? Because love and career are two separate energies.
Yeah, baby, love or career?
No, it's taking advantage.
Oh, you gotta
let's
attend the
let-
class.
Let's
You're
think
gonna have to
about
go to the event.
how about love?
Yeah, love. Let's go with the
Okay.
love.
So did you hear Monica's little
Yeah.
love? Yeah. So basically everything that I share, we all need to hear today.
Yes.
Everything that I'm sharing today is because we all are meant to be here and hear it. So everything I said to Monica is for you as well. But I'll pull a card from the animal messages. And that is also a Stephen Farmer book. And I'll show you that one too. Okay. Yeah, Ted Andrews is great.
Just to let you guys know, so Therese is a reflector in human design. So it means she has a lot of open centers, right? Like everything is white in her chart. So she reflects back who you are. Isn't that amazing? So I'm a generator. The shaman I'm inviting is a generator. Vienna is a projector. So she kind of goes deep within, almost penetrates like the aura, right? And really understands the emotion. And then, of course, Therese is a reflector. So she's not telling you anything that you're not, because she's just reflecting back who you are. So if that helps you understand, when a few people come together and your team is that, it's varied, right? There's variety, you get the magic flowing. Doesn't this feel good?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, got a projector and a generator here.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know human design, you can actually do your chart online.
Yeah, for
it's
free.
free.
Mhm.
Yeah. But to get deeper understanding, it's good to hire someone like Vivian or someone
Or
who has
anybody
more,
that
or
does human
yeah.
design that you
Mhm.
connect with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not an expert, but I know a little bit. So I do use it in working with clients. I like Vivian. I do pull people's
Yeah.
charts up.
I use it in forming my team because
Yeah.
I would love to have a solid team that all of us are represented, like
Mhm.
all the strengths in the group are represented. So
That's
we
right.
use that a lot in business. So we don't just teach this thing, right? We live it.
Mhm. We
We
live
live
into
what
it.
we teach.
Absolutely. So baby, you got snow leopard today.
Mm.
Take some time out of your usual life and spend it in solitude.
Mm. Meaning
So
be alone sometimes.
yeah, exactly. So this is totally the not always going outside yourself for validation. It's about validating yourself within. When I go into the energy of your body, it's
Mhm.
about loving yourself wholeheartedly, knowing you deserve love, knowing you deserve a healthy partner, and knowing that you can have that, but you have to be the energy of the partner you desire. So when I put out the energy of the man that I want, like I like a mountain man, because I'm a mountain girl. I do. I like a hairy chest. I mean, if he has one, great. If not, great. And I like him to be able to chop wood and like survive when we go camping. But at the same time, I want him to be able to like rub my feet and give good massages and all of these things. And it's like, can I do all those things? Yes, I can. I have that energy. Can I chop wood if I need to? It'll take a long time.
Mhm.
So it's like, be the man or the woman that you want in your life, and that energetic frequency matches you, and it happens much sooner. So I hope that helps, baby.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh my God. All right, Vienna, go ahead and unmute yourself. I think you have a question.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for all the
A
sharing
beautiful
today.
face. So Vienna, me, and Therese are the ones going to this, well, presenting at the event and sharing our beautiful gifts and magic with you next week. So
Yeah, so next week's gonna be fun.
it is fun. It is fun. I think the world needs this. And for some of you, I think you read somebody wherein she's transitioning to entrepreneurship. A few weeks later, I can send you that link in the message, because I kind of sense like for the world, we need some form of a healing, like a stepping stone in order for us to really realize these dreams, right? So that's why this was born. Because instead of just teaching logically, like these are the things you got to do, it doesn't quite work like that when you're not ready. When your energy is not ready to receive, it doesn't matter what you attend, it doesn't quite connect, right? You can't connect the dots. So that's why we're going to do this event next Friday and Saturday. And it's just half days. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be
All right,
good.
Diana, go ahead and share or ask your question if you have any.
All right. I went into, I have an app on my phone. I don't have a physical deck except one I bought when I was out at a class with Vivian about emotions, and that didn't seem suited for today. So, and it was an angel feather app thing. And it said, oh, do you want 1, 3, or 5 cards? And I'm going, my assignment asked for 6. What do I do? So anyway, so it actually plunked out 5 cards, and it was heart of the matter, unknown factors, outcome, challenge, and turning point.
Oh,
And
wow.
so that was all very fascinating. And so I feel like I got a little bit of insight there, but my other question that came to me after all that was I wanting some insight into the next course I would teach. And I'm leaning toward something really focused on frequency, because when our frequency is high, the rest takes care of itself. And when our frequency is low,
Mhm.
that all kinds of intrusions, invasions can come. So is that a good direction, or do I need to tweak that? Am I?
Well,
in-
if your gut instinct is to go in that direction, Vienna, then you're
Mhm.
on it, right?
All right.
It's
Beautiful.
not me that can answer, it's you. And as long
Yeah.
as it makes you feel good, like I was saying in our sacral center, even though you're a projector, your
Mhm.
body's going to tell you.
That's a
Our
beautiful.
body's the antenna.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
do you feel expanded or contracted when you go into the energy of that?
I do feel expanded. And
Mhm.
I think what makes it challenging for me is, and so maybe there'll be an insight for this. I also feel very expanded when I'm working with people on their ribs. And then
Okay,
often we'll
yeah.
find a trapped emotion to release in the midst of
Mhm.
that. And so there's 3 or 4 things that feel really, I guess 3 that feel really expansive to me right now.
Mhm.
And I can give other people, I can see for others, like some middle ground, like, oh, it's not just A or Z for you, since you're in Canada. It's, there's all these other letters in between. And so a couple people, Vivian being one, have offered the insight, oh, well, gee, these things are all about frequency and alignment and getting out of fight or flight and getting centered and into your peace. And so perhaps there's a blending that I'm not seeing yet, and I don't have to choose between them.
You don't. And that's the thing is, like, when you speak, when you go into this and I go into the energy of this, it's like you could break these down into courses and have an academy.
I see.
Right. So it could be one big academy, but you start with one course at a time, one training at a time. And then when you sit down and look at it in like building the structures of a building, because I'm very visual. So I have to see the pillars, I have to see it all created. So it's your
sound
temple.
like Vivian.
Yeah, we're both very visual. So when
Yep.
you have the temple, like what in your healing temple, what has to be addressed first? What has to be addressed second? Right? Because I know in certain modalities you address, like me personally, I always address the child within the client first. Most of the time it's the inner child that needs the work. I mean, if they've already done a lot of that, sometimes it's the past life stuff. Right? So it just depends. So then I'll do a past life regression and then move into present moment addressing. And so because you do the emotions, like what emotions or what kind of frequency shifts can happen in what area that needs to happen first, maybe, right? Like what's the importance of each thing? What's most exciting for you? So really just sitting down and feeling the frequency of what you're offering and what feels lightest. Remember, when we're heavy, we're in a lie.
Yes.
And when we're light, we're in our truth.
Beautiful reminder. Thank you.
And
I think
thank
you, Vivian. No, I just really appreciate all the different wordings, because we all use different images to portray it, and somehow that light and heavy just that resonates a little more. I can feel that more easily than light and dark, or several other images.
Right. And we always want to confuse things. The mind is so confusing. It's like like dating, like what I was talking with Monica. It's like I'll date someone and I'll have this illusion of who he could be.
Right.
But the truth is in front of me. The guy's not making plans. I'm making the plans. Like what? Right? The illusion is there. And that's heavy. Me always making the plans was heavy.
Yeah.
Right.
Or it becomes comfortable because like it's a muscle that we exercise all the time.
Well, that's it. You get used to being heavy. And then you're like, oh, I can hold more weight now. Well, I want to hold less weight. I want to have just a tiny bit of weight and go, it doesn't work.
Yep.
Yes.
Like,
You know?
I changed
Yes.
my mind. Goodbye.
Exactly.
Vivian, what were you gonna say?
So Vienna, I think so there is a word that like the container or the a choice, right?
Yes.
For some of us, sometimes, and I've done this myself in the beginning of my career when I was doing energy work, then I go, how can I explain that I can see the physical, emotional, mental, psychological, psychic, spiritual? It's really like
Right.
different buckets, right?
Exactly.
And so I was confused in the beginning of my career because I know I can help them all, right? From a
Right.
simple ankle sprain all the way to a psychic attack or
Right.
somebody like getting kicked out of church or ostracized by their family or whatever that is, right? I can
Mhm.
go from sick people in the hospital and make them well, like that kind of thing. So I'm like, well, who am I? I was confused about what to offer in the beginning, but like Therese was saying, it's the foundation. So the question is, do you have any trigger with the word package, container, just that, right? Like, is it okay to choose one and be successful? That I know from being a money magnet activator, right? When we choose a path, because we're giving it a chance, it's almost like you depend on this child saying, hey, I know you could do this. Show me you could do this, right? So it will unfold before our eyes. So if we can trust, because you feel good about that choice, it was part of your, let's say, 3 to 4 choices you have, make
Right.
a choice and give it time. Like, give it the love, right? Because if we keep on changing it about, then we're like, well, I was the same. I was like making 10 offers at once. How about this?
Yep.
How about this? And how about this? And then they're like,
Right.
what do you do again? I mean, I do a lot of
Everything.
things, really. So when you choose the lane, it changes everything. It really does. It's your ability to receive with that. That comes
Okay.
with it. Yes.
Choosing the lane, changing everything triggers me.
Oh,
Oh no, it's gonna change it. You mean
that's what
the
it
choice I make?
is.
I'll go down a completely different path. Oh no, what if I miss something? That FOMO
Yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Thanks for finding the trigger, Vivian.
You know, I'm very good at that trigger, and now you can release that now.
You know it. Well, you know what I'm doing tonight.
Hey, right angle cross up penetration always works.
Yes. Thank you both so much.
You're welcome, Vienna.
Oh my
Sweet.
God. One more, Teresa. I don't know if you're still available. Somebody has some kind of a monumental life-altering situation
Can you mute
in
yourself,
less than
Vienna?
36
Yes, thank you.
hours. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting excited with the time. So Lisa has a question. If it's life-altering situation coming up in less than 36 hours, like what can she do? It's big for her, for them, for the family, right? Husband and wife. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that question's heavy, right? If
Yes.
everyone here can feel that weight, that's
Mhm.
on you.
Mhm.
So once again, your body has the answer, and it's a matter of what feels light and what feels truth. So whenever we go into those monumental decisions, we go into our brain and we try to let our brain make the decision. And really our body knows. Our body knows the direction. So I'm going to pull from my Work Your Light cards because we need some light energy around this.
Thank you.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone here today.
I know. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. We're a little bit over time, but if you're still okay with that.
So the Age of Light is the card that you got. You've been training for this for lifetimes.
Wow.
So there you go. So this card is all about knowing that, like when I go into your body and I go into the fact that you have all the tools within you to make this decision, you have the intuition. You probably are, it's niggling, right? To you, Lisa, it's like, because you're weighing the cons and the pros and you're weighing it all out. So even though you feel unprepared and daunted, you can handle this. That's what this card's saying.
Oh.
That your authentic self has the answer. Take all the weight of other people's opinions, take all the weight of other people's programming off of you, and go to that clear and soulful place within you. And Lisa, I understand, like it's just a lot, right? It's a lot.
Mhm.
So what can make you feel light in your body? What can make you feel clear? What tools do you have at your disposal to use?
I have some crystals. I could, sort of just allow that to clear and to energize.
Mm-hmm. Do you run? Do you sweat at all? Like, do you do any exercise?
No, I do not. I do not run, and no, I do not like to sweat. I like to glisten, but I don't like to sweat.
Okay, because I was gonna say that's what my intuition is saying about your body.
Mm.
It's like you have all this energy bottled up that needs to come out. And if it's not going to be physical exercise, it could be, and I'm going to say it, sex. It could be a hot bath with salts.
Mhm.
Could I go to the beach and ground?
Absolutely. You can swim in the water.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's about getting you out of your head, right? Into your, and that's why I said sex. Sex is great for that. And
Mhm.
so is having a hot bath and putting your intentions in with the water and releasing through the salt water. So the beach is perfect. Go and let the sun dissolve the stress and worry, and then swim it off in the water.
Monica suggested, how about open space? Go out into the sun to feel the light in the surroundings.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a little bit easier right now, but yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Thank you, Monica.
And definitely you can meditate, but when we're stuck in our head, it's the body that needs to move.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard
Okay.
to meditate when you're like this, right? When you're it's like you have to get, that's why I said sweat or like exercise, because then it gets that energy flowing, gets all the chakras open. You could dance even, and then play some drumming music. I mean, it's whatever feels right for you. Just trust your body has the answer.
Okay, and I could do a walking meditation, right?
Oh, absolutely. Any kind of meditation where you're moving your body.
Elizabeth said, walk in nature or meditation. Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you,
Therese,
everybody.
Thank you, Lisa. Do you want to answer one more question? This is the last one. She's already up here. So Angelica asks, would you mind pulling a card for me regarding my future in art? I had these goals last year that don't feel right anymore, and I had delays due to some family issues, and I'm not sure what direction to go, whether it would be good to still give my artwork a go or keep it as a hobby.
Okay. So what is your body saying, Angelica? Because we have the answers. I'm just going to pull a card to give you insight.
Mhm.
Honestly, I just came back from a massage, the chiropractor, so I know I'm detoxing. I am not necessarily clear right now as to this issue that's asking, because everything's come out.
Mhm.
Oh, I see. I see. Well, this is a good opportunity because you're detoxing, for you to detox everything and anything that's not serving you.
Right.
You're doing it within, it's going to come without, right?
Mhm.
So what makes you feel light when you let go of it?
I mean, I enjoy art. I really love doing it. It's just the time. Like, I feel like I'm been pulled in so many directions, and even when I delegate, it doesn't happen. And like certain expectations around the household, I'm unable to meet them because I have goals.
Okay, so this is great because here's the thing. You're giving up what you love to do what you don't like. You're giving up art to clean your house.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not balanced. That's not good. You have to hire help.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Angelica, it's okay to have a housekeeper.
She has one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you need help and you need to hire? That's the question.
It's more of the day-to-day, like maintaining a certain order. Like there are standards in the household that I initially was okay with because I didn't have the interest in art then. And now that this has come up, I'm finding that the time I need is put towards these tasks that can be just done once a week. But then because the standards are so high, they have to be done daily, which I'm like, no, I'm shooting for a B-, you want an A+.
And who's putting those expectations on you?
When I was reading the energy, it's not
yours.
Yeah, it's not mine. Yeah.
No, it belongs to ancestors.
Yep.
Exactly.
Are you ready to destroy and uncreate all those expectations?
Oh, absolutely. I've been doing last year.
So, yeah, so there you go. So we're just going to destroy and uncreate all of that.
Okay.
In your body. And from now on, when that record plays in your head, you're going to change the record and you're going to put on something different, something that says, this is great. This is fabulous. I'm doing the best ever. Because you know what's so funny, ladies? I pulled Aphrodite, romantic love, and look at, she kind of looks like Monica.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beautiful.
It does. Exactly like Monica, even with the hair. Look at the hair. Oh my God, this is so cute.
So isn't this amazing? Because we pulled 2 Aphrodite cards today. We've asked about love several times. And I really, the collective here is we ladies need to really tune into what we love and do more of that. And we need to receive more pleasure from ourselves and our partners sexually. Aphrodite is about that goddess energy. And honestly, there is a love for art. There is a love out there as a partner. There is a love in the creativity that you have. And for you specifically, Angelica, it's about letting go of those belief systems that aren't yours. And I know it's a process, trust me, because we ancestrally carry them. And especially if we have our family in our life, they're still projecting it onto us. We're still playing the record from mom and dad. Luckily, my parents are like 10 hours away. So, and then they're not always here. So it's easier for me not to keep replaying their belief systems. And so it's time for us to all let go of the projections that people put on us and thinking they're our own. So here's a little exercise where we can say, I'm feeling heavy or light, and we can ask where it's coming from. So there's 3 questions. 1, is this mine? 2, is this someone else's? And this is the best ever because there is a 3rd one. Is it something else's? That means it could be an entity. It could be a grandfather who passed and his spirit is with you, projecting onto you that you want a cigarette. It could be some addicted somebody whose spirit didn't pass. And then they're like, just have a drink of alcohol. Like it's unhealthy. So you know it's not healthy for you. So it's something else's. And how do you get rid of entities? How do you get rid of the energy? You consciously let it go. You consciously reject it. And you replay the spell in your mind that you want. So how do we replay it? We do the opposite, right? We say something opposite. We come up with an affirmation that's completely healthy and feels light. Remember, heaviness isn't truth. It's lightness. And so the cards help you to do that. So I am just so ecstatic about all the love because I did a self-love group yesterday. And so self-love is really coming up. There's a really beautiful self-love theme this week for me. And some of you have asked how to connect with me. You can connect with me on Facebook. You can connect with me through my website, theresenadeau.com. And of course, I'm really excited to be a part of this beautiful group next week. on how to manifest with Vivian, the Manifest Queen, how to tune into your intuition and manifest your desires. And I get to teach that with my cards. So I really hope, and if you guys are VIP, you get a session with me or Vienna. So it's
actually and
Vienna. Oh, and Vienna. There you go. Even better.
Yeah, even better. So Vienna, so you have an emotion code or a code of consciousness session with Vienna. Vienna is very, very in tune with the different planes. Of course, she comes in as an emotion code practitioner, but honestly, she can do a lot more. So you have a session with her and a session with Therese as part of your VIP plus the ticket to the event.
Yeah, it's such a deal.
Literally you could use that up until you can access the session with them earlier, if you purchase that, or after the event. Literally, we're going to give you guys up to 60 days to access that. So, so you can go to the link we shared with you, a regular or a VIP for private sessions with these two wonderful ladies. And it's called viviandeguzman.com/manifestation-booster. The coupon code is early bird seat. It's $100 off. Only until September 11, people. That's how we're going to do that. All right. So you could come hang out with us Friday afternoon and Saturday morning. So much fun.
Yeah. And so, Angelica, I went on sidetrack there, but I hope that helped.
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling.
Thank you, everyone. And again, if you have any questions, we're going to do the replay for a whole week for next week, right? So we would love to see you there and just be ready for some healing. It is a fun, exciting, and just rejuvenating event. So thank you, everyone.
Thanks
and plus you get the recording after too. You can just replay it over and over again if that helps you in many, many ways. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Therese.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.